Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be VOD reviewing my own video so you guys can know what to do and what not to do, and some tips and tricks on Vyse while we go through. Now while I'm playing out this round, I'm thinking about their comp, and I'm definitely going to be thinking about how their attack's probably going to look very aggressive because they have almost all aggressive agents in the Sova. This setup is what I usually set up with. I put a flash right here because I usually peek from the doorway, which is unexpected. Kind of helps out here. It doesn't work in this round, unfortunately, but this is a good setup if you do it correctly. That round I kind of trolled there because I tried to break the door by closing it and then knifing it, but what I should have just done is played off my setup and just played on the archway. I kind of trolled this round for my team, and that's kind of why we lost. Since we did lose that round, I do kind of a weird play. I showed this in a video. Basically just put my wall on lane, put my flash in lane, and play in that little rat corner right there to try and isolate a kill. I also didn't show this in my video, but now I put a vine right there so I can stop them from trying to go to the switch and try to push them into my setup. This actually does get us a lot of value here, as you'll see.
Enemy spotted B.
Yep.
Thorns are live.
Out.
Walls flashing.
142 on jet. 142 on jet lane.
One enemy remains.
While I did die, I got a lot of value from my team, and I stalled a really long time with my setup. This round I'm going to do the same thing that I did on pistol because the enemies didn't see the full value that my kit got last time because of that dumb play that I did. Usually on different agents and mostly sentinels, you want to switch up your gameplay style based on how the enemies seem to be perceiving you. And this round, I see that the enemies probably think that I'm not a very good Vyse because they haven't seen my full kit in full capacity yet. The enemies feel my aura this round, however, so they decided to go B anyways.
Rocket destroyed.
Inside with the Marshall.
Deficient.
Jet hit 66.
What about say? I'm low, baby.
Here I call out to my Reyna to bait me because I'm very low, which is exactly what they do, but we end up killing them all anyways because they can't hit their shots. Now here I let my jet get this half the spike because they're way closer to the jet ult, which actually does come in handy later. It's important to think about these tiny things that can really ramp up and snowball into really impactful rounds. Once again, I'm doing my normal A setup because they still haven't come to my site yet, or at least not onto my site where I actually got value off of it. And yeah. So pretty much I do the same thing. I forget to place a thorn at the choke, but that's okay. I place it at the thorn after the barriers go down. Now be careful doing this, what I do here, because usually when the enemies hear that a sentinel is on the site via you placing util after the round has started, they might want to rotate. But here they don't because, you know, they're an aggressive team. They don't really think. My Reyna does body block me here, so I do get flashed by my own flash and darted by the fucking Sova. I'm really pissed at him about that, but, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes things happen, it's whatever. But we still get them off the site. It's still a good hold. We still get the kills, and it's still a good round. You hear that sound? It's silence. Also known as the sound that my parents make when I ask them if they remembered my birthday today. Because of what my Sova spots mid and all the noise that they make B, they plant B with the free site, and we end up playing retake. I do end up getting a kill here, luckily, but it does end up with my Reyna losing the round here because of an unlucky spam. Now, because they've finally seen my setup on A, I decided to play B this round with a setup that I haven't shown in a video yet. You see, I place a flash right over the right side of the little archway there, and then I put my wall on lane. Now, what this does is that when they hit the wall lane, they'll be out in lane, and they'll be stuck there, and I'll pop my flash and I'll kill them because they'll be right in their line of sight. Because where else are they going to look? Towards the wall? That'd be stupid.
Good hit. Ultimate's ready.
Now I end up halting here in order to stall some time for my rotators, but because they're pretty slow still on the rotate because they need to clear the rest of sight, I do get domed by this Reyna because I have bad aim and I have a terrible spam. I decided to go back to A because I'm finding more success on A instead of B, but they end up going B again. So I am going to have to play some more retake simulator. Now while I'm rotating, I place this flash on this wall right here. because the enemies aren't out yet and they won't be able to see it. I'll use this flash later in order for us to get out of this smoke right here, me and Sova, so we can get a 1v1 on site while they're blind. Now, because it is an eco round, we get slammed pretty hard, and my Jet's left in a 1v4, which she does try a very good attempt to win, but it's just not enough, and we do lose the round.
Spike planted.
Now, because my thorns aren't getting much value on the side executes, I decide to place a supporting thorn on B while I run on A. And I tell my team to go back A, mostly my Omen, because I want to be able to hold A pretty strong. So what I do is that I place my normal wall, and then I place a vine in the choke, and then a flash on dice.
2A, I'm droning.
Okay.
I'm gonna destroy it, just stay there. 66 Jet.
Yeah.
So why did I pop my flash early here? Well, I heard the Jet updraft dash on, which means that she wasn't able to trip the wall here. Although the other enemies were ready to swing with her, so I decided to flash them and take the 1v1 that I could, because my Reyna did sadly kill the Jet that was dashing in. Since my setup on A isn't finding a lot of value because of their Jet updraft dashing over my whole setup, I decided to play B with a more passive setup on site. Now, since the buy barriers are going down, I throw a Panic Thorn on switch, which isn't actually that bad because it is hidden. I place another Thorn right where I said earlier, and since they are kind of rushing, I decided to go back Bowhouse and play numbers and play safe. This Jet gets flashed because I'm the GOAT, and it's a pretty sweet free kill on site.
Beat out.
Shot done.
One enemy remaining.
This guy main.
Spike down B. Long.
Holy shit.
Reload.
If you're like this Reyna and you're impressed with any of my plays, make sure to like and subscribe. Enough chilling, let's get on with the video. I throw a support Thorn lane because the enemies are starting to get aware of my setups. I tell my Omen to rotate B so I can play on A and actually cook them up with the actual setup that I have on A, which will be unexpected because they'll see my Thorn on B and they'll think that I'm actually playing on B, but in actuality, I'm going to be playing on A. Playing these mind games with the enemies is actually extremely important to a good round of Valorant. And make sure to shit talk when you can. As much as, Riot might not want you to, typing in chat, just saying things like nice round, trying to tilt the enemies a little bit is kind of helpful to your game, because if you can make the enemies tilt, you practically already won the game. 99% of the time.
Yeah.
My ultimate's ready.
That,
True.
One enemy remaining.
nice.
Oh, no.
Don't know.
Wait.
He blinded from A.
He lurks.
He blinded from A.
Yeah, he's left side, man.
Revealing.
120.
Now, I try to go for the clip here and kill the Omen, but he does kind of poop on me. Luckily, my team is able to secure the round because this Omen does a pretty stupid play by TPing away but then walking back into my Silva's line of sight. Like you see right here, pretty dumb of him. Don't know why he did this, but whatever, a round is a round. My setups have been purposely going pretty back and forth, making the enemies second guess every time, so if I do the exact same setup twice in a row, they probably won't expect it. Plus, if they see my Thorn once again on lane, they'll probably want to run away because my setups have been cooking them up. But like that even matters if my Reyna is just going to push him in and kill the entire team, am I right?
No one's found me.
Two more. Sova and Omen.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, bro. Just kill them all, I guess.
Ace. Bow before me.
Just different.
I guess.
Since my Reyna absolutely decimated them on A, they probably won't push it again. But just in case, I do the same setup on B and A in order to deter them from doing either one. They end up going B and killing my Omen off here, which is pretty unlucky because I was set up A and I was really expecting them to come A. But because I have a Thorn set up on lane, I pop my Thorn, which helps the guy on site, which is very cool, and it gives me an assist from across the map, which always feels good on any agent that you play. Since it does turn into a 3v3, I expect that we have enough space in order to take sight with my ult, but I end up doing something pretty stupid here and not clearing any angles before I ult, which is pretty dumb and does end up making us lose the round. Guys, remember that being a sentinel sometimes doesn't mean that you always have to trick the enemies and make them second guess where your setup is. Sometimes you should just set up in the same spot because it works so well every time they go there. And if they don't hit your sight, well, they'll be scared of your sight. And that's a whole site. Like, they'll never be able to go onto that site if they're scared of you on that site, which is good. This is what you want. Now, my jet here comes for me to break the drone for her, so I do, but that ends up putting us in a really bad situation where they're pushing us and I have no way to get out. I get spammed a lot here and I have to use my flash in order to survive, which ends up killing me, but I was able to pop my ult before I died, which gives my teammates a better time trying to kill the enemies. But even though they only have pistols, my teammates still find a way to lose to them, which is just unlucky because the classic is pretty freaking insane.
Alright, yeah, let's just go B. They don't have a good sentinel.
Arena makes a pretty good point here. In Valorant, the pistol round is usually the round where you just want to go with your entire team, and that's exactly what we do in this round. Plus, he does also make a good point about them not having a very good sentinel. Chamber isn't very well known for his huge stopping power unless he's posted up on an angle, but, you know, we can just run him down because of our comp. It's pretty simple, really. Just go in on pistol round. Don't do anything weird like lurking unless you have a very, very, very specific thought-out plan. As you'll see, even in pro games, they just 5-man on pistol most of the time because that's just what you do. Sadly, we end up running into their 3-stack, and our failed execute later, we were able to get a pick mid, but I believe this round ends up still being a loss. Because while I don't know where the enemies are, it does sound like they were all B, but this chamber does catch me on a pretty sneaky lurk, which is pretty well played by him.
Blinding prep.
Huh? Replant my ass. What the?
Now, this round, I don't put my wall for flank, and I'll tell you why. Now, usually I do put my wall for flank if I believe that we're going to be kind of lurking around the map a little bit, trying to find what best suits our hit. But, sometimes it's just better to not put your wall for flank so you can use it for post plant like I do here, because the flash and the wall is a pretty broken combo. Now, we do lose this round, but it is no means because I didn't use my wall for flank. It's just simply because they had a really, really good retake setup, and our entire team gets pretty well cooked. Now, the situation is looking pretty dire, so I decided to go for a little bit of a hero play by grabbing this A main orb right here, so I'll have my ult for later in the round. I was able to get a flash ping here, which means I was able to take the chamber or whoever was peeking off the angle so I could enforce some more pressure towards the other areas of the map. Because of some godly picks by my Omen and Jet, this round turns very, very winnable. And that's exactly what happens because the rest of my team grabs the rifles and they pretty much push the spawn, and I don't really have to do too much of anything, which is always a good feeling if you feel like your team is really helping you out. My team and I discussed the idea of splitting B, but before we can fully flesh out our plan, the buy barriers go down, and we just decide that I'm going to ult B main while they push market so we can get the maximum amount of value out of my ult and pretty much rail them down. However, some unlucky things happen, and I get double domed by a classic, and pretty much the entire round gets cooked because I wasn't fast enough with my ult, so that's kind of my bad there. Now, this round, I want you to follow very closely about what I do with my util. I use my flash in order to clear B main, then I decide not to place the wall flank since we already have a pretty good rush onto site. Because what's good about Ascent is that you can pretty much tell if you're going to hit the site very well off rip. Now, I place my wall here, and I plant the bomb, and then I put a flash over the left arch. Kind of similar to how I set up on defense. You see, what's great about Vyse is that if you have a lot of util, you can use all that util on defense and attack just as good, if not better, because the enemies won't expect such a great setup. Now, I'm left in a 1 versus 2 here. I pretty much take my ones very carefully, and I see that the Omen is going to try and smoke off my flash because he's seen the wall before and he thinks he knows what he's doing, but I'm too clean for him, buddy. So, I see what he's doing. I try to wrap around the smoke, stall as much time as I can, and when I hear him tap the bomb, I spray him down. The next round after that was pretty uneventful, so I'm skipping over to the enemy's eco round here. Now, they decide to pop Chamber and Jet ult, two very good eco ults to do, and they end up killing our Jet here. However, my Arena gets the trade. When my Arena dies, I get the trade of the Jet, so they're pretty much back to an eco round right after we make those two conversions, which is great for us because we've not only gotten rid of two really good ults, but we've put them back in their place economically. However, because of the guns on site and the Omen getting killed, it's up to me to make the round-winning clutch. And well, let's just say I do exactly that.
Thorns activated. Wall blinding. Good hit. One enemy remaining.
Nice, well played.
To break this down here, I decided to pop a Thorn Stairs to deter them from going stairs because if they go through that Thorn, I'll know if they're there and they'll take chip damage, which is not something that you want. What makes this even more unexpected is that I pop a flash that makes it look like I'm actually playing in Boathouse, which I'm not. This is how you play mind games in Valorant. They think that I'm in Boathouse because 1, I'm in a very unexpected position, 2, I haven't shot yet, so I get a really good trigger discipline, and because 3, I have a flash on sight that I've used before that makes them think that I'm playing in Boathouse, which I've done before. All these combine into a very good round from me because I was able to make good conversions and good decisions. Doing another A hit where I now put my wall on flank, I decide to use a flash A main to try and deter anyone peeking. Nobody's there. We rush in with my ult, and we pretty much get the site for free.
Bring me the arsenal!
He's already mid.
Close the door if you can.
Burn his tree, burn his tree.
Launching
Nice.
thorns.
Sova was mid, Sova.
And that's pretty much the round because as you'll see, our team will push this Sova and it will be pretty free because he doesn't have that great of a weapon. As you can see, I put a flash down here and I put my wall a little bit deeper in main. So why do I do this? Well, sometimes if enemies are pushing out B main or if you see that the enemies are starting to push out a little bit, try to get a little bit aggressive, that wall will trap them and it will be a little bitty Vyse setup in B main that's pretty unexpected. Because after they trip the wall and you flash them, they're pretty much stuck in B main, and that's a free pick that you got right there. Now, we were leaning towards A, but because of the bunch of kills that we get in mid, we pretty much just collapse on them B, and I end up getting the last kill here. While they weren't the nicest shots, I still got the kill. Anyways, after I place my wall here, I decide that I'm going to go on a lurk this round. Since they only have a chamber, they don't have much of a setup to stop me from just lurking in. I decide to put my flash here and see if I could spot anyone B main. They do see it, which means that they do know that I'm there, so I decide to go back with my team since we're getting a bunch of picks. This ended up helping us because it was actually a pretty good fake for me to put my flash in B main because the rotators are going to come a little bit late just because of that flash that I threw earlier. And since I put my wall on the flank, I'm going to hear that they're going to come flank this Omen right here. And I'm going to place a flash as soon as I hear that he's walking up on our flank. So if I get the timing on him, I'll be able to flash and peek him in a very unexpected way.
Behind you, behind you.
Haven't lost.
Team Ace.
They can't guard us.
Indeed, they cannot. The following round, however, was pretty unlucky and we end up going into overtime. I decided to put my usual A and B setup and just hope that they go A and try to rush me like they usually try to do. But when they do rush me, they actually do something a little bit different. They jet dash on top and I end up dying anyways.
Okay, sweet.
Thorns are live.
There's one gen that
Now notice how even when I died, I decided to come to my team. Anyways, besides that, I just tried to do a little bit of a late setup on B since I put my Thorns on A in case they did that weird setup that they did last time. This setup actually does get us a lot of value. They don't expect me on site because, you know, they've seen like almost all of us stacked here. And since this wall gives us a lot of time, it's pretty much a good round. Well, at least that is what I would have said if we didn't peek and die. And I'm left in a 1 versus 2, which I sadly cannot clutch because I have bad aim on this chamber. The very next round, I decided to go a bit on a lurk because I do want to get rid of this chamber value setup. What I see here is that he's got a trip in main, and I don't think he's watching this, so I just try to quickly break this and run away. But as you can see, he was actually posted up on that angle with an op, and I get a little pinch on my butt cheek. Luckily, I was able to escape with my life, but not without our entire team dying, and it's pretty much a cooked round from then. I do try to get some value, try to make a bit of a play, because no one else seems to be doing anything, despite them all having full HP. I do try to get this jet over here, but I don't win it because I'm 1 HP, and it's just a bad round. So it was an NT for my team, but we do end up losing this game, despite us doing pretty well, in my opinion. Especially because we all worked together really well. And it was actually a really good game where we just kind of all talked to each other and nobody was like not trying or anything. So even though the game was kind of fried, I do think that it was good to show you guys what it was like. Because this is what high-level Valorant kind of looks like. Us going through the process of seeing what the game is going to end up being like. Us trying to see what holes we can find at the defense and how I can set up and be successful on my side of the coin, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire game. And I hope you guys found anything that I said helpful. And next video should be out pretty soon. I'm going to be making a little bit of a short video based on what Keo said about Vyse, because I just need to make a video about it. Anyways, see you guys later. Like and subscribe. Bye.